Hello, everybody. I was able to make over $1 million with just a small LinkedIn following and even get noticed by some of the biggest names in the space, like getting featured on the front of Tony Robbins' business magazine. I've helped hundreds of clients to do the same, and it's all because of these 7 growth hacks. And this first one is going to make all of the others 10 times more powerful, and it works like this. Imagine for a moment you suddenly need back surgery. I really hope that never happens, by the way, but you have 2 doctors to choose from. One who simply lists medical professional on their profile. That's it. And another who states 15 years orthopedic specialist, 1,000 plus successful surgeries. Who would you feel safer with to buy from? I think we'd all want the experienced doctor more, and LinkedIn works exactly the same way. People trust, engage, and buy from people who demonstrate clear expertise regardless of follower count. So here's what to do. Add your years of experience to your headline. Doesn't matter if it was a job or a business, it all counts. So instead of just writing project manager, make it 7 years project manager or 5 years entrepreneur or whatever it is. Now, even if you don't have years of experience yet, don't worry. This next authority act will make you appear instantly credible in under 2 minutes. And if you do have loads of years, congratulations, it's going to make you look even better. And the best way to think about this one is the difference between these 2 polo shirts. Both are made of cotton. They're the same color. They do the same thing, but this one with the logo is 20 times the price of this one. And not because of the logo, but because of what the logo represents. Think about it. When you want to buy something, certain symbols tell you if you can trust the seller or the brand. And this is exactly why your LinkedIn cover image is so powerful when you do it right. Because if you display the logos of respected companies you work with or for, which you have on your LinkedIn profile anyway, but further down where nobody looks, you're borrowing the trust from those brands. And this, by the way, is a psychological principle called the halo effect. So here's how to do this. Take your cover image and add 3 to 4 logos from your most impressive employers or clients in this place here. Keep them clean, evenly spaced, and high quality. And now we have credibility, it's time to start some conversations that are going to lead to clients. And to do this, we need to prioritize talking to a very specific type of person. Otherwise, you'll be about as popular as a fly in your soup. And while we're talking about food, let me show you how to do this using these M&Ms. And imagine these M&Ms represent your followers on LinkedIn. Maybe you know where I'm going with this, but in this first glass, we've got every color M&M, and they represent the different types of people on the platform. Red might be CEOs, green might be founders of small companies, blue is students, and brown could be middle managers, and so on and so forth. And imagine, just for a moment, you help founders and you only work with small businesses. That means only the green M&Ms will care about your content and messages on LinkedIn. The rest, they won't be interested. Now look at this second glass. Only green M&Ms, same content and messages, but now way more people will potentially buy, engage, and work with you. Because here's the truth. 1,000 perfect fit followers will make you way more money than 10,000 random ones. But I know what you're thinking. How do we get in front of these people? Get them to reply? Do I need to send loads of spammy messages to strangers? Absolutely not. And let me show you what to do instead. Because when I started to do what I'm about to show you, I got 90% of people accepting my connect requests and almost all of them getting into conversations, and I landed clients. And I only discovered this after failing when I followed the conventional advice. And the conventional advice was about as effective as yelling at the wind to stop it blowing. Because everybody had told me to do a search in LinkedIn Sales Navigator for people that fit my ideal client profile. So it might be something like the CEO of a medical devices business with 11 to 49 employees in my local area. But it didn't work. Just because they fit my ideal profile on paper didn't mean they had anything in common with me or were interested in my services. Nobody responded. I was about to give up, and then something really interesting happened. A connection request came in from somebody who'd worked at IBM where I started my career. I accepted it without even thinking. And the next day, another one came in from somebody who I'd gone to university with, and without thinking again, I accepted it. Both turned into great conversations, and trust was instantaneous. Why? Due to our shared past. And that's when it hit me. The answer to quick clients was right in my own back background and it'll be in yours too. I immediately ran a search for people that worked at the same places as me or went to college at the same institution as me. And here's exactly how to do this. And I recommend getting a LinkedIn Sales Navigator trial or at least using it for this. Go to the search bar here, type in the company or college. But here's the trick. Don't click on the ones below and instead press enter. If you click below, it will bring up the people that work there now, not the people that went there or studied there. Then filter for people who posted in the last 30 days because we want to make sure they're active. Click the seniority level you're after, company size, and if possible, go for a local geography. We want small, narrow searches and boom, you're good to go. And if you want me to personally look at your searches and your profiles, see if we're running one of our live trainings. But for now, we're in these great conversations and how do we now turn them into the subject of business, going from small talk about where we studied and worked without coming across as salesy and breaking rapport. And most people get this totally wrong because they follow lesson 1 of every sales training everywhere. And they ask if the person has a problem in the field related to their area of expertise so that they can then ask if they need help and want to go to a call. But let me show you why this doesn't work. Number 1, salespeople on LinkedIn right now are about as popular as a fart in a crowded elevator. So you're immediately positioning yourself as being below that person in status. And number 2, more importantly, it's just not how the world works. Think about when you're having a problem at work or in your business. Who do you turn to first? Usually it's that peer on the same level as you who's been there before, not the vendor trying to sell you something. So the most important thing here is to position as a peer and equal and not as a salesperson chasing leads. And here's the message that works for me to do that. Hey name, that must have been a big transition from last company or last business to where they are now. Fill in as appropriate. When I did it, it was a lot. Position yourself as somebody that's done it, a peer. Was it as scary as I remember it? And put in whatever emotion you want. Boom, in one short message, you recognize their past, you're moving them on to talking about their current position without making it blatantly obvious you're trying to sell. And do you know what? Everybody loves talking about themselves, so you're going to have loads of attention and people replying. And what they do then is they'll go and check your profile. So we need to make sure they're seeing the right things that move you closer to closing those sales. And to do this, we need to understand why some LinkedIn posts get massive reach whilst others get massive sales. And let me show you how to do this with 2 real examples. Look at these 2 posts and see if you can spot the difference in the first line of the way they're speaking to their audience. And this first one, who by the way targets beginner entrepreneurs with a low cost product, has over 500,000 followers and has closed over 5 million on LinkedIn. And I know that because he tells us on his profile. Here is his post. And in the first line, he says, build a $1,300 a month side business for $19. Whereas this second post is from somebody who only has 1,200 followers and yet still closes high 5 figures every month, whereas he targets enterprise clients and experienced business owners. And I know that because I know him. His first line, how I use Clay, a piece of software by the way, to save 50 hours and replace 5 sales development reps for outbound sales. The difference, this one who targets beginners, notice how he focuses on the low cost and potential income. He leaves out how much time is involved because new entrepreneurs are often only focused on the initial cash in the door. Nothing wrong with that. Whereas this one leads with saving time and replacing expensive labor because seasoned entrepreneurs know how time and operational efficiency are way more valuable than saving $19. They already have money. Both strategies work fantastically and are both legitimate. But if you want to make a load of money from a small audience, then you want to make sure you target people who already have a business and saving them time. But how do we do that? Well, we need to make sure we're selling the right thing. And most people try and sell the wrong thing to the wrong person. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a busy CEO running a multi-million-dollar company. You've got high stress and you see somebody offering to help you relax. You're interested. They say that they can help you be present with the family. But to get the result, you have to hunt through 20 20 hours of video in their online course just to find the bit relevant to you. It's like selling a complex recipe book to somebody who needs dinner on the table in 30 minutes. They don't have the time. They don't want to learn to cook. They want the meal done for them now. And that's why so many experts struggle. They provide the recipe instead of the ready prepared meal. So when you're getting started with a small audience, at least, to get that initial cash flow, it's way easier to sell personalized consulting, advisory, coaching, or even do something for them. And the best bit about this, people will pay way more for it, and it's way easier to sell. And if you want me to personally review your offer, meaning what you're selling to who and the way it's presented, check below, see if we're running that live training. And if not, check this video out here. It's got 150,000 views. That many people can't be wrong. It will show you how to accelerate this process that you've just started here.